Well, this book was a different kind of book, but it was a good book. And I'm going to go past that. It had its moments where it was an outstanding book. So I'm going to give you what it says on the cover, what it says on the back, and then I'm going to let you look at the little picture and see that, and then I'm going to read the little thing to wet your whistle to get you to read it. Then I'm going to give you all of the paperclip moments and my rating. This one's going to be pretty high. It was that good. Jilted at the altar, bride reunites with her high school sweetheart in Lori Wilde's sensational new Twilight, Texas novel, Christmas novel. Kelsey James always played by the rules, and look where it got her. Dumped and half drunk in a poofy white dress. Her Christmas wedding ruined. Then her best friend talks her into going on her, quote, honeymoon, end quote. Anyway, daring her to a Christmas of yes. It's about time she lets loose a little, so Kelsey agrees to say yes to fun, to romance, and to adventure. And adventure leads her right smack into the arms of sexy Noah McGregor. Noah's never one to say no to a risk. From leading his NBA team to victory to making Christmas cookies in Twilight, he's up to the challenge. But a lot has gone on since they were teenagers, and he knows that he has to take time to make Kelsey dare to believe what they feel is more than just the holiday magic that's in the air. Now, everybody's like, why did you read that without your glasses? It's because the back print on the book is that big, and I'll show you. See how big that print is? I could read that with no problem. But from here on out, glasses are on. Okay, it says, Lori Wilde, The Christmas Dare, a Twilight, Texas novel. Here's the little picture that just, it melts your heart. And it says, she was left at the altar. He was the one who got away. Dare she believe in his promise of a happily ever after? We move on. What are you doing? Kissing you, unless you got a problem with that. In answer, she threaded her arms around his neck, tugged his head down lower. She wasn't short at 5'6", but he was still almost a foot taller. Noah captured her mouth and found himself capsized on the wave of Kelsey's lips. He tasted her, absorbed her flavor, her warmth, her Kelsiness. Engulfed, he was engulfed in the intimate experience of her soft, delicate lips, and he devoured her. Or maybe she devoured him. It was hard to tell with so much heat. Mouths open and searching, they shared one quivering breath under a network of hot, wet kisses. She was hungry for him as he was for her. Now we're going to start with the pages that I felt comfortable enough to share with you. It was a very passionate book, a very romantic book. And, for us who've been through hell and back, it gives you, hope for the future. So we're going to start with page 52, first paperclip. After Chelsea died, that's her twin, that one defining moment of pure tragic horror had cemented Kelsey's world view. Life was indeed dangerous. It wasn't safe to trust anyone too much. We move forward to the next paperclip, page 66. This was Dirty Pool. She pointed at Tasha, who was practicing her innocent "who me" expression, blindsiding me with Twilight and Noah. And still the same old firefly, Noah chuckled. It was tender, his eyes lively. Terrified of your own emotions. I am not. It's okay, I get it. He said emotions are hard to process. Didn't we hear enough about that at Camp Hope? Without another word, he gathered her in his arms as if they were friends for life, wrapped her in a brunch-scented hug, picked her up off her feet, and spun her around. All the air seeped from Kelsey's body, and over his shoulder she saw Tash mouthing again, "Kiss him." We move on to page 70. The local lore said that the town of Twilight was founded on the spot where two teenage lovers separated during the Civil War. By competing loyalties, they were reunited 15 years later on the banks of the Brazos River. The town was known for bringing couples together and capitalized on the story to stir tourism, with a Sweetheart Park, Sweetheart Tree, Sweetheart Fountain, and other romantic landmarks. That gives you a little bit of a story about the town. We move to page 79. So, Noah has a tattoo, and it has the word dare in it, ironically enough, because Kelsey's on a Christmas of yes, and her friend Tasha keeps giving her these dares in order to live outside her comfort zone, to make her more her instead of what her mother envisioned her to be. And it's kind of intriguing in that sense, but here we go. On the sleeve of his jacket rode up his arm, revealing a small tattoo on the inside of his wrist. One word in a beautiful black calligraphy script. Dare. Really, seriously. Was, quote, dare, end quote, becoming her personal theme? She didn't like that. She spent her life avoiding rash decisions. Noah had not had that tattoo when he was 17. When had he gotten it? And why? Dare. That summed up his personality to a T. Everything he did tackled with passion and gusto, and even if he didn't have the best staying power in the world because his quicksilver mind tended to jump from one thing to another, dare. Let you read on that part. Page 142. So yeah, we're moving quite ahead. Should we throw a coin in the fountain, make a wish, he asked. Kelsey caught her breath. The old legend, throw a coin in the fountain, wish to be united with your childhood sweetheart, and you would be. It was mythic, of course, but what was he suggesting? Did he want to rekindle the old flame? Did she? I was just joking, he amended quickly. No expectations. No? Do you want me to have expectations? Kelsey studied his face, trying to get a read on him. Do you want me to want you to have expectations? He laughed, a rueful sound that landed hard on her ears. Firefly, you're doing it again. Doing what? Trying to figure out what I want so you can please me. Am I doing that? She asked mildly. You know you are. What do you want from me, Noah? To speak your truth. I can handle it. If you're regretting the hell out of the kisses we shared today, just tell me and I'll back off. I have no intentions of pressuring you. I see. But you were the first one who kissed me first, so I thought maybe on a dare. But you chose me. You were under the mistletoe. It was an opportunity. I couldn't pass it up. That's it? I just stood up at the altar, Noah. A wistful note crept into her voice. I understand that. It's why I want to tell you to tell me what's going on here. What was going on here? So we move forward. Page 182. Okay. Listening to Kelsey's story, seeing the damage done, he realized there were worse things than having your mother die when you were young. His mother might have left the earth early, but while she was here, she'd been nothing but a radiant light of unconditional love, giving him strength he needed to keep his heart open and his mind clear. He couldn't imagine growing up with a parent who manipulated and emotionally abused their child at every step of the way. Noah ached to bring Kelsey into the world, to change her direction and have her find safety in his arms. He wanted her to see that every single day could be like Christmas when you had the courage to claim happiness, to see the world with fresh eyes, to see him with fresh eyes. He was no longer that 17-year-old kid terrified of her domineering mother, and he was no longer willing to simply be the blast from her past. Right or wrong, Noah wanted more, so much more. He gave Kelsey the most loving look he could muster, peered deeply into her eyes, and whispered, Let me know when you've figured out what it is you really want out of your life, Firefly, your freedom or your shackles. He's so good and so bad. Anyway, moving on. Page 249. How are we ever going to divide up the teams, Flynn asked. Bleh. I can't talk tonight. I apologize. How are we going to divide up the teams? Flynn asked. There are, she did a head count, 7 of us. We need an even number. She glanced around the room at the crowd. Who can we draft to join us? I'll sit this one out, Kelsey said. I'm pretty rotten at Christmas trivia. All the more reason you should play. Noah threw his arm around her shoulder. Kelsey and I are a team. Sweet words to her ears. I'm heading out, Raylene said. Noah's got me scared of what Joel's doing over there at Rockabye. I'm going to go check up on him. Thank you, Noah told her. We'll be back at Rockabye in an hour. Take your time. Raylene waved her hand. Earl's out on a hunting trip with his drunken buddies, and I've got nothing else to do. She pointed at Scene. You take my seat. Page 322. Let me just, 322. I'm trying to see why I marked 322. Isn't that horrible? Hi, Sam. Okay. The vivid woman he'd always known was hidden beneath her hesitation and self-doubts. She'd reserved for him. She let go of her fears. For him and for them. Okay. We're moving forward to page 328. And she was starting to believe that she and Noah had a real chance at a future together. He'd shown her he loved her in a dozen of different ways. By lovely gifts he'd given her, by the way he accepted her for who she was, fears and all. By the way he'd helped her safely step out of her comfort zone and embrace being a new way of being. By the tender look in his eyes when he called her Firefly. How he'd saved her from being kidnapped. She loved him so much, and if he wasn't ready to say those words, she was. Noah, she whispered, and turned into his arms so that they were facing each other. Kelsey? His face lit up when he smiled at her. There's something I want to tell you. There's something I want to tell you first. Oh? She sucked a breath, and he looked in her hands and his, rubbed her palms that were healing from where she'd skinned them when she'd fallen away from getting away from Clifford's steel. He pressed his lips to her wounds, kissed them lightly, and her heart fluttered. I love you, Kelsey James. With all my heart and soul, I love you unconditionally, no matter what. Noah, she sucked in a second breath on top of the first one, and her chest ached in a beautiful way. I love you, too. I've always, and I always will. So let's see what happens. We're moving on. Page 349. Now, I'll give you a little story here on this part. Noah and Kelsey have had a parting of ways, and it wasn't a nice parting. He was very rude, very hurtful, but sometimes we have to have that rude and hurtful in order to make a decision which way we're going. So he's sent Kelsey back to her mama, and she's just, well, both of them are a wreck, but it takes a good friend, Raylene, to talk to Noah to get him to see the light, if you will. So here we go. You should have gone with her, held her hand, faced down the dragon with her, done something to show her that you were on her side, but you just sent her off on her own when she needed your support the most. You're asking her to trust your love, but yet you didn't show her that she could trust you and be there when the chips were down. She hurt your feelings, and you, who takes the long way around in order to avoid getting hurt, just let her go? Is that the way you see me? Noah gulped. That's the way she sees you. I guarantee it. Was Raylene right? Noah already felt bad as hell over the way things had gone down, but to think he made things worse for Kelsey was a gut punch. Look, you're a good guy, but you got this thing where you always expect life to be smooth and easy. It makes you a joy to be around when things are good, but when the chips are down, you tend to make yourself scarce. You're that tall, good looking, and fun. Life comes so easy to you that when you hit a bump, you surrender. I don't do that, Noah frowned, an arrow of self awareness piercing straight to his heart. Do I? You were a natural basketball player. The NBA rolled right into your lap, but as soon as you hit treble, bam, you gave it up. I blew out my knee, Raylene. You didn't even try to come back. You took the doctors at their word. You threw in the towel without even a fight. They said recovery would be long and grueling and not guaranteed. Exactly. You won't ever know, will you? Because you didn't fight for it. A comeback was too hard. He clenched his jaw. That's not fair. I was taking care of my body. She shrugged. That's one way of looking at it. Another way is that you're just too damn lazy. I'm not chalking that up to a character flaw. Okay, what about your marriage to Melissa? What about it? He scowled. You didn't fight for her either. She left you because you stopped trying, not because you got hurt. She found another guy to sleep with, Raylene, and you didn't even want to try to win her back. It was done. Over. We were too different. We wanted different things. Just like now with Kelsey. I'm giving her the time she needs and space she needs. Okay, whatever you have to do to make things easier on you. Raylene shot him a you're a lost cause look. The way she said easier ticked him off. I tried to fight for Kelsey once, and look where it got me. Her mother threatened me. I could have lost my scholarship. Maybe that's where it started, Raylene mused, your tendency to give up when the going gets tough. I haven't given up on Kelsey. Haven't you already mentally signed off? Her mother is a challenge. Kelsey's got some heavy feelings to sort through. You can't just love her when she's perky and optimistic, Raylene said. You have to allow her to be who she is. And if that means she's not always going to be easy, suck it up, buddy. Experience the pain and understand that it's all part of loving her. Look at this, damn it, he said, holding up his wrist for her to see his tattoo. Dare. I got this to remind myself of the importance of taking chances. I risk a hell of a lot to get where I'm at. I bought this island. I started a B&B when everyone said it wouldn't work. But it did work, Raylene said. It worked so easily because you already had this celebrity status and you were so much fun to be around. You're a natural people person, just like you were a natural basketball player. If this bow-tail hadn't come together like homemade vanilla ice cream and hot fudge sundae, would you still be here? Face it, deep down you're terrified of failure, so you don't try things automatically that you're good at. Was that true? Noah stared at Raylene, then looked down at his wrist. Dare. What real risk had he actually taken? Raylene was right. He was a hypocrite, and he had it tattooed right there on his wrist for him to see. Oh, crap, he said. Yeah, Raylene nodded. Now you're getting it. What do I do? About Kelsey? Yes. Follow that damn tattoo. Dare to do something grand. Gesture, baby. Go to her and show her that you are not the kind of man who takes the easy way out. Oh, that part spoke volumes to me, and I was like going, wow. I mean, if real life, people could sit people down and say, don't always take the easy way out. Life's not always fair, but you don't know unless you try. It speaks volumes. I did not mark how the book ended for a specific reason. I want you to see if Noah and Kelsey ends up together on your own. I want you to see if she's decided to always be playing it safe or take that dare when Noah. And did Noah realize that he was playing it safe and take that dare for Kelsey? The only way that you're going to find out is read this amazing book, and it gets a 10. 10. That's a must read this holiday season. Pick it up at your local convenience store, wherever books are sold. 10. Stay tuned. I'm going to do my best, even though my voice is going, to sing with my puppet friend, and you don't want to miss that.